I, I was wondering if Smashers were going to go down the route of picking up their off lane and then maybe going for like a Ricky or like even like a Medusa style, where it's just like Ricky Grimm's very strong. But anyway, they go for the Wraith King, like she mentioned. Is going to be able to, no matter what happens here, just be strong. Like when you have a Baden SD as your opening two of your three picks, like these heroes don't do damage. They prolong fights, they enable fights, but they aren't doing anything. And they need to find an answer. And, yeah, they go for Chrysalis' best hero. It's the hero that kind of brought his name to kind of pros, and it was the Monkey King. But yeah, there's a lot of stuns and a lot of ways to kind of to kill the monkey right now.
What does Chrysalis do on the Monkey King that makes it such a specialty of him?
Okay. Other than like hundreds to near thousands of games played, I think he just understands how to get the hero into the game. You know, sometimes you'd argue like, oh, you need to go for the Battle Fury build or this or that. I think he always has a good read on it, and he's just very active. Like I think right now you have Ember and Monkey King. Like in game one, MTD and Chrysalis, they synergized really well together on their TA and Drow, and this is the same thing we want to see. Monkey Ember utilize that movement across the map, just jump on top of Smashers and just overwhelm them constantly. And that's kind of going to be enabled by both the Abaddon and SD behind them, kind of pushing them into the engagement.
Final bans here for Ghost Frogs and Hellbear Smashers. Sheep, let's make some wild predictions. Get your experience out there. What are you looking for in these final two picks? I mean, not what are you looking for. What crazy stuff could happen?
Well, instead of a hero pick, how about I just predict instead that I think Invoker's going to play Qualifiers this game? This looks like such an amazing Qualifiers game. I don't know how Ghost Frogs are meant to play a Monkey Ember duo core into that. Tornado can remove the Jingu stacks, can remove the Flame Guard. I'm not feeling Ghost Frogs heroes right now. I'm not sure they've answered it.
I love the ban though from Ghost. Sorry, but yeah, like the bans from Ghost Frogs. I was like, this Nexus Asher, you want a toxic hero, right? And then they banned Viper, and I was like, go on, Rasmus, get your Venom. They banned it. Like like Sheep just mentioned the idea of Quaswex. Like that is all about mitigating this mid Ember, and now you want to have this offlane that has the same annoyance, same kind of just in your face idea. Like, part of me would say like even just go wild and say like a Furion, because you just don't care about the supports, but you hate playing into Monkey Ember and how they jump you, right? But I want to have that type of laning presence. I don't care about the game. I just want an offlane that Rasmus can just be annoying and click his opponent for 10-12 minutes, and then your Invoker and Wraith King will carry you through the rest of the game. Just have presence in lane is what I want to see from Rasmus.
Does he play Pango? Because it seems like a pretty decent Pango game for Hellbear.
He does. It's the same line as the Mars, where he's played some games and he either loves it or hates it. Depends on the day. Like he just picked a Lesh without playing any Lesh games, right? So I'm ready for anything in the offlane here, Sheep.
He was wonderful at Lesh as well. You doubted it, see? You doubted it, and he owned.
I simply doubt the idea of new. There we go. I didn't know where I was going with that. I just thought I'd say some words, and I just stumbled into nothing. Yes.
You're scared of the new. You're a Luddite.
We're trying to get to TI here, T. We got to be able to play new.
Yes. Yes, that is true. I have experienced new. Yes, it's worrying sometimes. In the wrong hands, new is bad.
Sometimes the old ways are the best. So will Ghost Frogs and Hellbear Smashers pull something out of their established bag, or are they looking deep within themselves to find something they only just know exists? 18 seconds for Ghost Frogs to pick up something in what could be their final game in this qualifiers.
Isn't it just the Slaughter that you already mentioned before? Like, just really go for Slaughter. Yeah. Okay, they go DK.
DK got to final phase.
Yeah.
DK gets last picked a lot, actually. Because he's not really ever that ban worthy. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, you don't really feel good going, I'll ban the DK. Maybe in the puck meta of Season 2, but yeah. Alright, what's the Rasmus hero? Oh, is he playing a Core Phoenix? Oh, he's going for a cheap... Is it a Core Phoenix?
Core Phoenix
it's a Core Phoenix! Oh, alright. 3 melee cores with a melee support. I rate it. This is not new, but it's new to this qualifier at least. All right, I like this.
Do you have similar positive feelings, Sheepstick?
I don't like the Phoenix. No,
Give us a reason why.
Okay, I just think that you are playing into an Abaddon who's going to be able to purge your fire spirits in lane. How are you going to be an effective off laner when your spells aren't doing anything? Yeah, your Sunray's good against Dragon Knight, but I mean, they can kite your ult with this Ember ult. Like, I just don't see what it does, especially when you are looking for more control for Borne's Invoker. It is magic damage, though. I thought they were maybe lacking that. It is damage in general, seeing as Borne is probably going Qualifiers, so it's okay. It's not what I was looking for.
Yeah, they
don't have much of an answer to the egg either.
This is one of those things where like Smash's draft, like why I enjoyed it was like the mid game to late, like it looks great. But if like Codes for us connect the dots like they did in game 1, they for sure can punish the lack of stuns and like Smash's way of stopping them running at them other than Invoker. So I can see Ghost Rogues maybe emulating game 1, but it's like Smashers just don't need to overreact, chill, and like their draft will eventually get to a point of just dominance. It's just maybe Ghost Rogues just outplaying laning phase, and it's too hard to recover from that because this core Phoenix, like Sheep mentioned, doesn't really have the initial entry to the game. So yeah, it's all eyes on Rasmus. How does he enter the game, and then how does Boromir mitigate this early pressure to give Smashers enough time to then feel confident with their draft?
Okay, well, we are saying Smashers, so let's saunter over to our shoutcasters for this series. It's SUNSfan and SyndereN.
Thank you, panel. Hello, everybody. Game 3 of this best of 3 SyndereN SUNSfan here. We have Hellbear Smashers versus Ghost Frogs, and very interesting. We are finally seeing some newer stuff that we're not like. Again, it's the same patch as the Animajor, as ESL. So we're seeing a lot of the same picks, but this does look a bit different from both respective teams. What do you think of these lineups?
Yeah, I think from a meta perspective, it's a bit new, but for these teams, I don't really think it is. Monkey King for Crystallis is a stable. I guess the Shadow Demon of Milan is also one of his trademark heroes that is just not that popular right now. And then you go to the Hellbear side. Barnea plays a lot of Invoker. Ace on one of his best carries. The only like odd one out, if you will, is Rasmus on the Phoenix core, which is a little bit different. But I do think this is something I seem to remember him playing in the past, even as a core. But yeah, right now, this is not that common. So, you're right. There's a little bit of spice. Should be interesting to see. I have personally liked the Phoenix last pick. I think it's very good. Sheep's point about the lane is very true, but I think it gets outweighed by the benefits of having Phoenix later in this game. Great against
Boundless Strike sets up the Dragon Tail, and that is a... Oh, he does delete the bounty room.
Walked into a lot of heroes and got killed.
He does delete it. Are you lagging or am I, SyndereN? Because...
Hello?
I think we're good. I think we're great.
Okay.
This is going to be a perfect game, and that was a very good first blood for Ghost Frogs. So what's the game plan? This Monkey King, again, not a hero. You said Chrysalis is known for this, but still not a very common hero. And like, what is the reason for that? Battle Fury is a dead item. I'm sure Echo Saber might be something he'll pick up at some point. But why is this hero dropped off so much?
I don't know how much he really dropped off. I just think the hero needs specific conditions to feel really good. Like, if you're playing against multiple melee cores, or if you have good lane matchups, which usually those two combine into the same thing. And just the overall, if the tempo of the game matches it, because Monkey King, in a lot of games, doesn't really want to just have a farm fest. He would like to fight and get something done. And to me, I don't know, I've always considered it an interesting pick whenever there's melee matchups on both side lanes. So this is one of those games. Well, he didn't know about the Phoenix at the time, but he knew about Wraith King, and he knew about the Nyx support, which would probably be in the other lane. So there's a melee in each lane, at the very least.
Right. The melee killer, Monkey King himself.
Yeah, and it's just comfort, right? Here. It's because it's Crystallis. So I think a lot of other teams, you just put the same draft on the board, they don't pick Monkey King there. But, you know, it's game 3. Gonna trust your players on their trademark heroes if they feel like the conditions are good enough.
This is an interesting question to ask you, since you have been involved on the competitive scene, SyndereN, as a captain especially. Like, when you're in a situation like this where it's a best of one, this is do or die to stay alive in such a big tournament. Do you look for these heroes that are just more comfort pick? Like, even if it's not the best pick for the game, just they feel good playing it. Like, how much do you weigh that versus what is actually... I'm not saying it's not good in this game, but you know what I'm saying.
I think when you get further in a series, and just in general, like confidence is always going to be really important, right? Like people feeling themselves, feeling like they don't like second guess themselves or aren't really like sure what to do. So a lot of the times, in my opinion, going into a third game, if you have like comfort picks that you haven't run yet, so they can maybe be a little bit surprising or not at least something that the other team is warmed up against and know exactly what to do against based on previous games, I think it's a really great way of approaching a third game. You just, you're setting up your players for success, make them feel comfortable, and kind of like in control of the outcome of the game.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with this as like a concept in the third game. But you want to find the right balance, right? Because like, let's say you're a team that has a relatively small hero pool, and you just keep picking the same heroes every game, then the enemy teams should be learning throughout the tournament how to play against your style in a third game if you just keep playing the same, right? So, but this Monkey King is a great example of a carry that is comfort, but was not used in the series yet. So I think it's nice.
Have been denied.
And we can see in the mid lane, a lot of pressure on Borania. He had to actually use the Ghost Walk just to get out of range of MTD and his ridiculous damage. But of course he is playing...
Actually.
It is a Quaswex Invoker, so it's... I mean, is this actually not that abnormal? Doesn't have that much damage. He has a sustain and all with the orbs, but...
Right. Yeah, maybe owned is an exaggeration. But I thought, especially based on how the other matchups have gone, right? In the first game with Borania on Lina, and the second game with him on Bat, those matchups were better, but I still thought he would be closer to MTD than this. It's a pretty major lead for the Ember here. He's ahead by 400 net worth if Borania gets these 2 CS, and he has the wave pushed into the tower, and he's obviously playing without Flame Guard because he's playing against Quaswex, so he doesn't even want to bother. He's probably just going to go 4-4-0 and focus on being a great setup for the Monkey King ult, especially. Very nice together with Slight Chains.
Yeah, and then from the side of Ghost Frogs, how do you see them setting up fights overall? Like, you have this Monkey King arena. Obviously, the Searing Chains are something that set things up. The Dragon Tail, is that really enough? Like, used to seeing when these Monkey Kings type heroes were picked consistently that it would be coupled with like more general AoE. You know what I mean? Like, do they have enough team fight to sustain into the late game?
I think they do. You have many different ways of catching. Dragon Tail, Slight Chains, Disruption, all of them give enough time to get off a Wukong into Boundless, so you can definitely do it that way. In terms of just raw team fight, I guess what you're thinking about is, okay, some teams will have like some sort of insane big AoE ability, like say Mars Arena, and then they'll put Monkey King ult on top of it, where if you catch 2 or 3 or even 4 enemy heroes, you just win the fight hands down. I don't think it's a requirement necessarily. Like, the flow of this game is going to be very different. The Hellbears team don't have any of those like massive AoE ultis either, apart from Supernova. So you can like kind of, it becomes a game of like poke and prod more so than hard commit. I think a lot with these strategies against each other, right? Like Invoker casting some small spells, Nyx trying to get a stun, and then the other side like Dragon Tail into a combo, Slight Chains harass. But not that like big Ravage or Arena.
Right. I mean, on the other side, speaking of AoE, Rasmus playing the Phoenix like we talked about as core. The thing I love about this hero play as core is you don't play any day, it feels like. You just get a lot more items, right? You get the Shivas, you get the Ags at some point, maybe a refresher. Like, it is so hard to deal with this hero. Like, it gets to a point where you just can't kill the egg anymore. So you just have to play around it, right? And do they have enough to actually play around something like that? Because they don't really have the greatest killers. I mean, Monkey King, I don't know how that interacts with Ags, do you?
I think the Ags does not hit wards. Does it? That's actually a good question.
I mean, I think it hits it. I don't know if it counts as a. I don't know if it counts as a hero.
Oh, okay, yeah. It might not even count as an attack, even if it does hit. That's true. That's a good question. I just flat out don't know. But I think even if it did, I still think it's a good Phoenix game for that exact reason. Like, that the enemy team struggles to kill the egg, he will get the levels as a core position, and they have good stuns to set up a Supernova, right? You have Nyx Impale, you have the follow-up with the Ink Swell, Tornado EMP, Ice Wall's great with Phoenix. So plenty of ways to make him be successful. And yeah, when he gets the levels, I don't really know how they kill the egg. That's why I'm kind of focused on how they can disengage. on the Radiant with like these saves they have, and Monkey King and Ember being naturally relatively mobile. Maybe you just get out. Dragon Knight gets Ags and just flies away over trees. Don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels like one of those. At a certain point, you just you pop Ag. All right, this is why like a Centaur type hero would be really good for a lineup like this. But obviously, you're not going to get the same single target ridiculous stun that we've been seeing from. I mean, Dragon Knight is literally picked for his stun. The biggest thing, obviously, tower pushing and all that's good stuff. But I feel like the base level of this hero right now is Dragon Tail, and they don't really have crazy like setup. It's not like they have a Marana arrow or anything like that, but they do scale a lot better than they did last game, right? Obviously, the Monkey King Ember, they're going to be doing a lot of damage.
Way more damage. And we're saying that with a team that has Abaddon 5 and Shadow Demon 4, and we're still like, they have more damage. So that's kind of says something about last game, right?
Yeah.
Actually, thinking back on the draft they faced last game, I guess the reason they didn't want Monkey King that game, it might have been banned, I don't remember, but they were against Batrider, which is one of his notoriously worst matchups. That might have been the reason he didn't want it. But yeah, that could have also been a Crystallis Monkey King game, if not for that, probably.
Yeah.
The hero, I think, is pretty good against Gyro, actually. It's all right, at least. Can come in close and man fight with a BKB, or just a lot of stats, get Jingo stacks and just hit. But that was a different game. Now we're looking at this one. And so far,
at the very
Ember...
least, I'm glad to know that it's not just me that's lagging, SyndereN. It makes me feel good. I see some choppiness, like, oh, they're choppy as well. Good. Thank God.
Chop, chop.
But you were saying, sir? You were saying
something.
I
was just saying that the laning stage
is
is going well for Ghost Frogs so far, right? Like Ember's top the net worth, Monkey King is ahead of Wraith King. They're basically slightly ahead in all three lanes on the cores. So going into a decent start. Like a big difference maker this game for me for Ghost Frog's success is the fact that it will feel like Toby has more impact. He has a Dragon Knight instead of the Brood, and this time his start is okay. And Dragon Knight does great against Wraith King, by the way. You just sit there. I guess skeletons, they tickle you. It's annoying, but compared to a lot of other heroes, especially melees, you're fine. He's gonna find his farm up here and have a much better game.
Yeah, Gilgo.
Next with Invis Rune.
Actually, Invis Rune. Impale is there. Okay, that is a lot of damage applied to MTD. Oh, the Sleight of Fist is there as well, though, to try to stay alive, but the Remnant, he gets killed by a neutral creep. Oh my goodness, those are the small garbage creeps, too.
Dude, he choked, right? Like, that Remnant was... It was like I think he wanted to slide, and then while he was sliding, throw a Remnant, but he must have like misclicked or something. So just Remnanted like 1 foot to the left and then dies to neutrals. If that was on purpose, he's a god, but I don't think so. It really did not look like that was with intent.
He saw that the small camp was stacked, so his chances were increased. As we're going to see the Sleight of Fist, he's back already. MTD, that's the power of Ember Spirit, that he had that Fire Remnant just for that death, and he denied himself the neutrals. He gets a free TP back. No actual TP needed. Beautifully done. But yeah, he is, I mean, in terms of the CS, it doesn't even matter at this stage. He's the top net worth of the game. He is, I mean, the fact that he denied himself to neutrals, how big of, okay, things have changed so much over the years. How big of a deal is that, would you say?
Who was going to get the kill? Invoker?
Let's just say it was Invoker, yeah. I don't remember.
I mean, it's a pretty decent change, right? That kill is probably worth like 200 or 300 gold. So it's not the end of the world. Like, you still get the kill. He's still on the sidelines for a bit, and but the thing is, he gets a refill, right? He comes back, like you said. He didn't need to TP with Fire Remnant, so... Or did he TP? He only has one TP.
No, he did not TP.
So I guess he just... Okay. He just had none before he died.
Yeah, I don't think you get one for dying to neutrals.
Oh, right, he died to neutrals. Yeah. You're right, of course.
Yes. He's going to be pressuring mid a bit. We can see on the mini-map that a lot of heroes making their way towards this mid lane. Gilgert, all right, gets the Impale off, has the double damage applied as well. SyndereN, oh my god, that Sleight of Fist did a lot of damage. Whew. I mean, it is maxed, so... Which, again, because of not having to use the Flame Guard, or I should say not being able to use the Flame Guard, as looks like Gilgert's going to get picked off here, so... Man, Sleight of Fist this early with just the Blightstone, pretty significant damage.
It is very strong. I I wonder if we're going to see Grimstroke try to work as like a pseudo-solution to this Ember by just getting 3 points in Phantom's Embrace. You see, Tofu's holding a skill point right now, and you can go different paths on Grim. One of the strengths of the hero as a support, in my opinion, is all of his spells are really good. So, depending on the game, you just adjust your build entirely. Some games you go max Phantom's Embrace earlier, some games you max Inkswell, some games you max Stroke, depending on what your team really needs. And this does feel like a game where the sounds could be good. It's one thing Abaddon can't dispel with a Photic Shield as well.
Ooh, we got the Ember Spirit coming in. Inkswell applied to Tofu, and they see the silence being leveled. Like you said, Inkswell will actually connect, but it's only going to create a little bit of space as Toby. Now on the run, EMP drains all his mana. Big tornado, though. Toby, Photic Shield, ends up netting him there. The dust is there, though, and Toby looks like he's going to find his way to the grave as Ace has the Wraithfire Blast, and he's going to use it to make sure he gets that kill. So it's a 1-for-0. After all that, only 1 dead. It's a little bit surprising, but MTD is getting chased, but I don't think they're going to find any more.
Yeah. Looks like Hellbears have got a good, like, I don't want to call it comeback. It's not like no team was really far ahead, but they've had a good sequence here.
What a huge comeback. Oh man, Inkswell not going to be there though. And yeah, Phantom's Embrace is going to be a bit annoying for MTD.
That's his last bit of mana. Okay.
They have no chase though. Anymore at least.
Gilgir gets killed by Crystallis and Milan. Very, very easy kill. Killing Nyx with Shadow Demon is actually... If you can wait with Disruption until he has to Carapace against the Monkey King, then it's just a kill. Or you can disrupt him when he uses Impale, because Nyx's level right now is so low that the Carapace is not connecting enough or creating enough distance to the Aura of Corrosion that Monkey King's playing with. So very, very easy for them to take out Gilgir there. And this might be Gilgir's worst game we've cast. This is our 6th game of Smashers in 2 days. They had a full best of... Right? Or?
I mean, he's played Hoodwink almost every game until today, I guess.
Yeah, they played 3 games yesterday against Nigma.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was Hoodwink all 3 games, that series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
definitely
off to a rough start. 0-3. Very low net worth.
The beauty of Nyx Assassin, or depending on your perspective, once you get Ags, it doesn't matter how your early game went, SyndereN. That's all you need in the entire game. And you're a very annoying hero.
I mean, it is true. He just needs to get that Ags, but okay. 3.5k gold, just conjure that out of thin air with your 1800.
He'll be just fine. Crystallis is going to pop the Wukong's command to try to defend his tier 1 tower, but Milan is the one that's taking the brunt of the damage here. Triple team, brought down.
Yeah,
and Crystallis is just going to have to get out of dodge here. But in the meantime, Ghost Frog's pushing mid. They're going to put down the Sentry and the Dust, and Gilgir just getting killed from afar, but the Spike Carapace and the Rasmus rotation are enough to back them off here. J4, okay, he's going to pop his ult Toby. Okay. That was a nice Fire Spirits. I don't think they can kill this egg. And with that Cold Snap, it's going to keep J4 in tow. Looks like he's going to be brought down now, so a 1-for-0. And the tier 1 tower was taken out in the bot lane. And it looks like the build for Ace will
top
be
net worth with a Midas as Quaswex is a very good look for Barnier right now. If you can manage to pull this off and have high play impact in the meantime, he has 80 CS on Invoker while being involved in all 3 of their kills and having a Midas. He is on his way to becoming a monster later, because what you can do in this game, he might not have to level Wex anymore if he doesn't want to. He could max Exhort right now. They have really good setups for Sunstrike with Nyx stun combo, Grimstroke, even Wraith King stun is enough. And just go for Meteor build as well. Just get all that damage into all your stuns. He is actually doing that. That's 1 point next sword. Could just be the value point for Deafening Blast and Ice Wall. But I do imagine he just maxes out Exhort now, actually. I think he's done enough with Quaswex.
Well, what's the reasoning? Because at the Major we saw basically this build, except you go for Spirit Vessel first, which is a pretty big investment, obviously. And it's not like it's bad this game against like somebody like a Dragon Knight, although it is an off lane. Is there a reason that you, starting out Quaswex, you go for Midas first? Like, why not go for Spirit Vessel at all?
I don't know if you like... I don't like Vessel that much against Abaddon. Like, you can obviously... Like, it gets dispelled, right? Which he can't always do, but it makes it less valuable. And I think you're just looking at the game and the flow of it, where the Radiant doesn't seem able to force you enough that you have to get a Vessel for fighting straight up. And if you feel like you can pull off a Midas and get away with it, then it's obviously a no-brainer, right? It pays off so big for this hero. You want the levels, you want the gold. Yeah, okay, every hero does, but on Invoker it's special because of how much each individual level does when you reach a certain point. So that's why I think if he had gone Vessel here, it would actually just not be worth it. But it's really game-specific.
Fair enough. I mean, the beauty of this, though, is obviously you have the Qualifiers to be able to dispel all this stuff, especially from the Ember Spirit, as it looks like Gilger is... And you talked about him struggling a bit here. The Sleight of Fist finishes him off. EMP is there, though, so it does clip Toby completely out of mana now. But the Tier 1 tower will likely fall as a result of this pick.
Yes.
And that's 2 Tier 1s now for Ghost Frogs. And they're going to be pretty happy with that, although the lead is a 1k net worth for Hellbear Smashers right now. Rasmus has his plate mail, and the fact that he is rounding out not that far away from a Shiva's, that, I mean, again, I'm used to seeing this hero as support.
Against this Radiant team.
Yeah, very good pickup.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit worried for Ghost Frogs. They're up 6 and 3 and have taken 2 towers, but I think the writing on the wall here is really, can you... Like, these mid-game teamfights are gonna be tough. You have Monkey King rushing Deso, which he almost has. Maybe you're looking at a Roche play. Like, you smoke, kill, take Roche, and then go from there. But I think the ease of execution, I definitely favor the Dire. Because Monkey King is essential to the success of Radiant in every fight. Dragon Knight's damage is not going to be significant. He has a Blink, obviously. And Ember, he's going to have a Maelstrom, which is nice. But the supports don't output enough. So we talked about how the damage is there from Radiant, and it is. But so much of it rides on Monkey King thriving in fights, and he's facing a lot of traps here. Phoenix Fire Spirits, Tornado EMP, Ice Wall, Wraith King that can just stun him and tank him for quite a while. Double stun from Nyx. Like, there are a lot of... That's like a minefield he has to navigate almost. So, he does have 2 saves, which helps. Oh,
Toby
that's a big pick.
Jumps in. Yep, big Dragon Tail, but the bigger Tornado from Borania. He's going to be spotted by the dust, though, and he's completely surrounded. Final Strike's going to keep him in place. Dragon form is activated, and Borania finally goes down. It does take them a long time, despite having literally their whole team SyndereN, but it is a pretty value kill, obviously.
Yeah.
And they might go for Roche. They do have the... Oh, I think the Deso's on the way.
No, it's coming. This is good. I like that from Ghost Frogs. This is exactly what they needed to do. Find a key pick and try to get Roche with the Deso arriving. A little bit early. This could be defended, though, actually, by Smashers. They're going to smoke. They're not giving this up. It's too slow. The Deso arrives too late, and they wouldn't have got it anyway. Gilger?
Oh, yeah, Gilger's who they want. Spike River's going to be activated, though. Oh, the root onto Rasmus. Into the Dragon Tail. Can he get it on a big impale? And there is the egg after the dive. Ace has come to show that he doesn't have a Deso yet. He is just taking a lot of damage. He's going to run towards the egg. That is the first life for him. For some reason, I thought he had Deso already. Is there Toby going to jump in with the Dragon Tail? Another big Tornado into the EMP. They can't do anything. Impale after that. Chrysalis has to get Aphotic shielded into the Balance Strike, into the retreat. There's the stun onto Ember Spirit, but...
Nobody's dying.
I can't tell who wants to fight here, Cinder. They're going back and forth between each other. Ace is pretty low, and not having that second life, I think they finally do the full retreat.
All right, we've got the one universal constant. Gilger's going to die. So nothing's going to change that. He's 0-5, but what a great stun he got there for the Phoenix. And I actually think if Rasmus could have kept his cool there and got... I think he had Fire Spirits ready. If he could have somehow got 1 or 2 Fire Spirits off as he was diving, and then egg, if that was ready, that would have made a really big difference. Because then I think he could have actually egged way closer to them. Invoker was coming in for the protection, so if he Fire Spirits the 4 heroes that are basically next to him in that Nyx stun, I think he could egg on top of them and win the fight and get kills.
Yeah. I mean, that was a
but
really
I don't know if it was ready at the time. But it is super close. Like, he was almost dead.
Because of the positioning of the egg, you can see Ace was literally just running to the egg and died just running to it. Like, there wasn't a whole lot he could do because of the positioning, but you're right. If he somehow could have gotten that off, it would have definitely turned the fight, I think. But Borania has the Witchblade now, so going for the Agnum Scepter, so the Cataclysm will be an eventual thing, as Roshan is being attempted again.
Can scout it at any point with Sunstrike or Tornado. It's not doing it yet, though.
I mean, they're taking forever to do this, and I don't think
this
they can do
seems
it.
really slow. They don't have medallion. I scouted it now.
Definitely at least that.
That's actually a really good Sunstrike because it kind of reveals the aggressive move from Ghost Frogs here. They also have a ward in this instance, but imagine you didn't. You Sunstrike the Roche and you see Roche walking back into the pit from having been attacked. It gives a lot of intel about what the enemy team should be up to. That they're making an aggressive move invading there. Dude, they're just getting really out-farmed. Like, look at this scoreline. 8-3, you're 4k gold behind against no gold steroid except one Midas on Invoker. It's just literal out-farm. They're trying to make moves that aren't, like, they're not accomplishing enough. And, what's Ace's CS? 169, 170? Monkey has 137.
I mean, if you just look at the heroes alone,
on CS.
In terms of the CS, Wraith King will farm faster than every hero, right? That's just how it is. And he has not been touched, other than that one death that we just saw. It wasn't really a death, just the reincarnation usage. But it's back up, and it's level 2, so the cooldown has been dramatically reduced, as Ace wants to go for this tier 1, wants to go for the Dragon Knight as well. Toby, nice disruption to keep him alive a little bit longer. Inkswell will not connect as a result, but here comes the heal on the other side from Rasmus. But a big Wukong's command is going to cost 1 life from this reincarnation. But the egg is going to be inside of that Wukong's command with the cold snap on top of the meteor. And Crystallis takes a huge tumble, but it'll be a trade for Bornea, who ends up dropping on the sideline. So 1 for 1 to start this fight. DD is there for MTD. That is bottled up, so now...
defensive on the egg again, in my opinion. Like, Rasmus had an awesome opportunity there with a Shiva on top of all of them. If he just eggs right in their faces. And that's maybe going to cost him here.
Oh, but the DD was activated. The disruption is going to keep him alive a little bit longer. Rasmus had the Sunray coming out, but they'll still find the Ember Spirit in the end. And now Ace... Oh my god, that was a lot of damage. Jesus H.
Do you ever play Wraith King yourself?
Yeah, I just played him today. It was amazing. Feels great. Toby, another Dragon Tail. Gilgar has actually survived through this fight, Synder. It's a miracle as Milan, destroyed by Ace, and now it looks like Toby is next on the menu. So it was a weird fight, although Crystallis has come back, SyndereN. So you have to be careful if you're Ace. No ult for another 50 seconds, but you have to be even more careful if you're Crystallis. A nice dodge to start things out, but the Deafening Blast with the Sunstrike is enough. And Hellbear Smashers getting everything they want now. That's a dub. That's 2 deaths for Crystallis on Monkey King in that fight.
Yeah, he is completely overtaken now. Like, the gap is starting to be so significant now that it's starting to be problematic. Like, I could even imagine Hellbear Smashers looking for a smoke soon and then taking Roche after, because they can kill Roche pretty fast. They have Alacrity on their Wraith King with Deso, and Invoker himself even has some pretty decent damage. Not the best, but it's good enough. So yeah, it's all coming up Hellbears right now. I asked you about the Wraith King because when I play this hero, this is when I have to play carry. I like playing Wraith King, and I love Armlet Deso. It's like when you get that Deso afterwards, it just feels like such a transformation. Oh, Toby.
Yep.
Good NATO.
I agree completely, and I also agree that Toby will die here, and it'll be a relatively easy one.
Also dead now.
Came in for the Aphotic Shield. He's gonna dodge a stun though. Pops his ult, but here comes the Wukong's command from the other side. Ace does have his ultimate, but it's going to be inside the Wukong's command. Rasmus puts out the egg on the outskirts of this ult, and it looks like Ace is able to get out no problem. So the egg is used in a more defensive manner. Haven't really seen the you're right, the super aggressive egg with the Shivas, which he's had for quite a while.
I feel like that's such a part of why this pick was good. I'm not really seeing it fully realized the way I was imagining it. Because I think in this game you can be cocky with the egg. And that's why I like the pick so much. Like, some games you have to place these defensive ones, but... Like, picture this. He dives into the enemy team, puts Fire Spirits on 2 or 3 of them, and uses Shiva, and then eggs. Even if they kill it, I think it's a team wipe. Like, there's just the amount of resources and time they need to spend, even if they have Photic Shield... What's their highest attack speed hero? The Monkey King? He doesn't even have good attack speed. Like, sure, let's say you kill that egg. You're setting up Invoker to land all his spells.
Gilgar's dead.
Yeah.
This will start out for a successful team fight for Smashers, potentially, but no, they're going to lose the Grimstroke as well.
Alright.
That'll be a tough one.
Is this enough for Roche? 25 seconds. They still do not have a medallion. Roche is full HP. Definitely need some...
They do have Abaddon in the pit, SyndereN. This is going to be the difference maker. You'll see. This Curse of Avernus, watch. When the 4th hits, it's going to be out of control. You got to keep hitting it. There you go. And here we go. Oh! See? That's like 10% more damage. Beautifully done.
When you make sounds, or?
Yes, something like that. But this is going to be the first Roche, so they will be successful. Aegis taking on Crystallis, and no deaths to speak of. So it turns out you don't have to kill Gilgar. You have to kill him and Tofu to get the Roche.
Right.
That's their mistake so far.
And in addition, Phoenix didn't have Supernova. I think if Rasmus has Egg, they can defend that 3v5.
True.
Honestly, they could have even tried, but yeah, I think it's probably the right play to just let it go. Like, why take the risk? You're in a good position in the game. Offering a potential comeback there by trying to contest a Roche that honestly largely will not be that consequential if they just play well together around their teamfight abilities. I still don't think, even with an Aegis, that Ghost Frogs come out ahead in the next fight. They need something really spectacular. Killing the supports is the way to go, though. Like, try to kill the Nyx and the Grim as fast as you can, so that you can kite a little bit in the fight when Egg comes out.
Yeah, we have a smoke here from Hellbear Smashers. Oh boy. MTD might be in some trouble. Ace, yeah, Inkswell with the blink. The ensnare is there, but the help. Yeah, he gets the stun off into the Cataclysm. Down he goes. No buyback whatsoever. And here comes Rasmus using the Fire Spirits, using the Shivas. Doesn't even have to bother with Egg. That is a freebie for the Smashers.
He did not have a Remnant out.
Yeah, that is. He had time if he had it out. You're right.
Yeah, he would have definitely got away if he had it out, but yeah, because Ace blinked in, and then he slided him on the stun. But yeah, if you have a Remnant there, you get out. It's not pre-placed though. And this is big. That's a tier 2 tower. And 3 kills. 10k lead now.
Yeah.
Approaching for Hellbear Smashers. Just a huge Wraith King. He's got the AC coming up next in 300. And we're looking at a Wraith King that can blink stun the Shadow Demon and kill him in 2 hits.
Yep.
That is concerning for Milan. He is not going to live.
The good news for Milan is he is actually pretty farmed. He has Aether Lens and Blink, so he doesn't really have to be that close. Right? So as long as his positioning isn't horrendous, it's going to be hard for Wraith King to actually
Yeah, he's probably not going to find the Shadow Demon, but it's just as a side note, right? If that ever happens in the fight, he 1 or 2 shots the support. It's also just the actual threat he poses to the Monkey King. In a fist fight where there's no ring, the Wraith King probably wins right now against the Monkey King.
You don't think he wins in the ring?
What's that?
You don't think he'll win in the ring?
No, he'll definitely not win in the ring. But he might. I think he might win outside.
In a 1v1 battle, you think Monkey King will beat Wraith King right now if the ring is up?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like he's still farmed enough to do that, but maybe we can figure that out.
He can stand his ground, but if that was a 1v1, he's not winning it. I really don't think so.
Okay.
But Dota isn't a 1v1 game, so...
That's not what I've heard. Talk to Arteezy a lot. Anyway, so Hellbear Smashers, 10k net worth lead now. And things, I mean, they didn't get that Roche, but things are still looking very good for them. And Aegis still online for Crystallis. They need to find an opening somehow. I mean, the problem with the Wukong's command is you just put the egg, even on the outskirts, like, even how he's been doing it, you're going to have to move out of your own Wukong's command. Basically forces him out of his own ult.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons Phoenix is so good against Monkey King. He's bad at dealing with killing the egg, but he also can't really stand his ground comfortably in the ring. So it's like a double counter. And it clearly was a targeted pick as well, right? You don't see Rasmus pick a position 3 Phoenix in the later portion of this draft unless he like really sees some immediate value, and that is the biggest part of it is its ability to deal with Monkey King. For sure. Crystallis is not... Like, we talked about the value of having Comfort Hero or whatnot in these kind of important games. He hasn't... It's not that he doesn't know what to do, it's just that it's hard to meet the conditions, right? He isn't feeling comfortable in the fights, because there are so many counters to him. With that Phoenix being the icing on the cake.
Yeah, that's true.
High ground coming up. They have to retreat immediately on Ghost Frog, so this lane is gone. Ace is mauling the tower.
Holy god. Yeah, that alacrity really takes him to another level, I'll tell you what. Gilgar, by the way, you made fun of him, SyndereN, for dying so much. He has an Aghanim Scepter! I told you.
Oh,
I told you he'd
The thing
get
is, I don't think the majority of his deaths were bad, though. It's just like, that was just the constant that was happening all the time, was Gilgir dying, so I thought it was funny, but he's been doing his job. Especially that 4-man stun that he hit earlier was really impactful, and this could be another one. Okay, that wasn't too great, actually.
Dragon Tail's the follow. He's trying to burrow, but
Alright, Gilgir
he's
died.
taken out before he can get in the ground. That is unfortunate. Very cocky move, I have to say. And the recipe for success for Ghost Frogs, they take out both supports, so the rest of Hellbear Smashers have to get out. A nice Searing Chains on a 2. Dragon Tail to follow. Can he get the egg off in time is the question. I don't even think he wants to at this point. Just going to sacrifice himself with that Shiva's usage.
It felt like Gilgir thought he saw a 3 or 4-man stun there, and then he hit 1. So, because like it looks clowny and bad, but if he does hit a multi-hero stun there, I think that could have been a game-winning play, actually, if they were all ready to connect. But yeah, just missed it, and then didn't dig in time into a pile.
Yeah, so. It looked like he could have easily gotten it. Like, he was invisible and had it lined up, but that's one of those, it's almost too easy. Like, your Pudge trying to hook somebody standing still, it's hard to hit that sometimes, SyndereN. You don't expect them to continue to stand still, you know?
That's true.
It's too easy. I have that problem. Oh boy, the jumping on the Borania. This could be a huge turning point. They're going to be able to drop him in his own base.
Okay, what's going on? They're actually just getting so many free kills right now. That's 4 in a row. They got the Nyx into 2 snowball kills, and then the big Invoker core kill in the base. Now they're getting bounty runes, double damage top.
Yep.
And they will have Dragon Form in 40 seconds, so they can align this Dragon Form with the double damage on Monkey King and look for something really big. Or they give the DD to MTD. They will.
I mean, when you get
this
these
is not
kills,
over yet, Shannon. That was actually a kind of big throw right there.
I agree.
They're still good, but...
Are they? The lead has gone from 10k to 5k. It's not just about the kills that you get. It's not just about the map control that you get. It's about the farm you get while they're respawning still.
Yeah.
And the fact that they literally can't leave their base.
It's a big swing, but they're still ahead. Like, the Dire are still in a good position, but that was a big slip up. If they do that again, we have an even game.
By the way, talk to me about... I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm just interested what the thought process is of getting... Because every Phoenix does this. They get Refresher, for the most part, second item, if they can, instead of Ags. Is Ags just like... Is it too risky? If you're trying to eat a teammate, that is?
No, but there needs to be a really good reason to save, right? Because the alternative... Let's say that you're comparing Ags to... Oh, hang on, we're not going to
have to hold your horses, SyndereN, Chrysalis. Yeah, Boundless Strike, looking for another kill into Borania. Pops his BKB in turn, though. Chrysalis still has the Wukong's command. Dragon Tail onto Ace. Not sure if they want to kill him or focus on him right now. Soulbind onto 2. And here comes the egg, beautifully placed into the Cataclysm. Oh my god, the damage is out of control. But a nice disruption saving for now. Wukong's command still available, but Chrysalis is just going to die on the outskirts of this fight. And that's 2 dead, make it 3. So great aggressive play from Hellbear Smashers. And this is what SyndereN's been waiting for, apparently.
Yeah, aggressive egg. That's just value right there. So what I was going to say about Phoenix, let's say you compare Eggs to Refresher. If you go for the Eggs, the utility you get a little more tankiness in your 1 egg, and you get to save an ally. So if you're playing against a lineup where having the hard save is insanely valued, that's fine. The alternative is you have 2 ults. Like, the amount of zone control and just damage your hero does, you also get, you know, the extra other spells. It's not just the ulti. It's too much. Like, unless you... Like, my opinion is, unless there's a really good reason to buy Ags, Refresher's just better. So that's why you see people buy it more.
Well, while you went on that monologue, the 2 racks have been taken out.
Yeah.
And there's no... They had buybacks, but understandably they won't want to use it just because Dragon Form is not up. And the fact that you can't go for Megas anyway if your Hellbear Smashers, Tier 2 still up on the top.
They can get the Roche, though.
That's a lot.
20 seconds.
I mean, they have to contest this, right? Once it's up. It's another 20 seconds.
They do. And it will be really difficult, because they're going to be fighting into 2 eggs with a level 18 Phoenix now, so...
Yeah.
This fight is so insanely hard. I actually really like that they're going immediately, so that there's no time for the Phoenix to get Supernova ready, but they got cold feet. They don't see the dirt.
There's a pile of dirt here that they had to get by, and it's pretty difficult. Very tanky. 40 is it 40 or 45 now? % damage mitigation.
think it's 40.
Whatever it is. It's a ridiculous amount. And the health regen you get. People forget about that. Mana percentage and health percentage per second while burrowed. You are so ridiculously tanky.
Oh, it's 50%, actually.
Oh, yeah, they buffed it from 40 to 50. That's why it's been ticking more. And I don't know why.
That's what Nyx needed. A buff to burrow damage reduction. That's very good.
I mean, he wasn't picked at all for that. Like, they would never buy Ags back in the day for some reason.
I guess so.
Oh, we're going to have the jump in Ace with the Ink Swell. Not going to connect to anybody, but Toby pops the BKB in Dragon form now. Gets the tail off. In the meantime,
they got a really good stun from Gilger there on MTD.
Has to take off his BKB now, but there's the Cataclysm. Not able to do that much damage, though, as this fight is completely segregated. SyndereN, as there's the egg, they're going to protect the second life from the Wraith King, but can they kill the egg? It's going to be close. They do get it. 70 seconds with Rasmus on the deck, and Ace.
He had no coverage. Like, it's such a good egg placement, actually, if there's any coverage, but Nyx wasn't there, Invoker wasn't there.
Oh my god, Ace.
Okay, that wasn't a bad one.
Abaddon from the map, but they're going to try to focus on him now with the Wukong's command. This is the second life for Ace. They should be able to get him if they're not careful, but nice disruption. Saved for now, but Toby in that dragon form will be taken out eventually. Ace is just doing too much damage. Double kill for him. This is going to be a dieback on J4 if he's not careful, as the numbers are in favor of Hellbear Smashers on this high ground. J4, after that ult, gets two-shot by Ace, who does have his reincarnation back again. A triple kill for him, despite this fight being so, I want to say, random.
That was a very good Deafening Blast from Bornea, by the way. He cast it on the edge of the Monkey King ring. I think he pushed Monkey King out of the Wukong's command.
That would happen.
With a Deafening. Or at least he forced him into a really awkward position. Toby's super screwed. Oh, does it blink?
No TP, though, and he is literally stuck between trees. Ace is going to jump on top of him, and that is going to be yet another kill. Oh, Tofu takes it. Okay, fair enough. And Roche is now up, and this is the second one, so the shard is a veil. He's a tree.
Oh, Tofu was trying to cut him a path with his spider legs, and he missed.
They spot him with the Cataclysm again. Goodness gracious. And that is a dead shot at him. He has to buy back in the game, though.
Oh, he just barely avoided the tree cut.
Chrysalis getting gone on by Rasmus. Has to force out his double BKB, in fact, is MTD. Basically no mana to speak of. So we'll just have to leave that piece of dirt alone. Soulbind. Oh no, this is the beginning of the end for Ghost Frogs, and down goes Monkey King. Does have buyback, but nobody else does, it feels like. MTD on the run. And yeah, ooh, he actually does live. Had the Remnant up, but Ace is just going to focus on the building. They still don't have that tier 2 top, so just going to go for the Ancient. Sleight of Fist is all they have for defense right now. Wukong's command is available, though. This will be the potential last stand. No Shadow Demon for 55 seconds. They cannot possibly hold without, but Dragon Knight is up in 20 if they can delay this a little bit longer. But Ace is just going to focus on the Ancient, and he's just going to go for the racks. Absolutely GG. The question mark from Bornea. All right. We got some first major vibes here, SyndereN.
I think there's a little bit of bad blood just based on the tipping pattern that I've observed during these games. I see. I've been keeping track. I've got a stat sheet for you later. I've run analysis on it. I don't know. I think it feels like Milan and Bornea, either it's friendly or it's malicious, but there's definitely something going on between those two. I don't know about the question mark. Maybe they have been talking some shit or whatever. But at the end of the day, Hellbear Smashers deserved win. I think on average, the series, they just played better. I think in this game, I really liked their strategy in the last pick, Phoenix. And the standout player for me in the series overall has probably been Ace. I think he's looked really, really stable in these games. Our Gordon game was tough for him, but he did what he could, I think. And the other two he just owned on Gyro and Wraith King. Total domination. 10-0 and 8 in this one. I think last game, I don't know what he went, but...
He went good.
Really good. Yeah, he ran good.
He went real good with that Eurocopter, as we call it here in the States. But yeah, with that means Hellbear Smashers will be moving on. They will be playing against Chicken Fighters, who beat Viking, by the way. Yep. That's a bit of an upset for sure. I thought Viking would get pretty deep in these playoffs, but they were just taking out upper bracket and lower bracket immediately. So that's kind of a crazy storyline. But yeah, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll have people talkity talk. Thanks for coming, SyndereN.